Okay, cool. We are back with yet another live stream. I will wait for the first people to start joining. Everything should be working. Perfect. Everything is working. Yeah, basically I'm back because yesterday I saw a lot of positive comments about the stream of yesterday, where we did an altcoins market screen, basically market scan. So I was thinking, why would we not do the same today, basically, with a few different things. But I would just wait for the first people to start in. Hey Vardan, nice to have you back. Laurent also, nice to have you back. Some familiar names. How are you guys doing? I thought in today's stream, maybe it would be a better idea to this time. I've just made a new watch list, which we can basically monitor over like the next few weeks with each other. We can pick some altcoins we do want to keep our eye on. So from yesterday's stream, I have Ondo and also Brett, because I do think the charts are looking quite nice. But in this stream, so I think it's looking quite nice, and also a lot of large caps are still. I think it's looking quite nice, and also a lot of large caps are still performing quite well. But I must say the market is down a little bit today. Let's also get crypto bubbles, because there we can easily see that the market is down a little bit today. Let's look at the hourly, and then most of it is indeed red, but this is also the moment where you can see which altcoins are going to perform really strong from here, and yeah, which positions you might want to be cutting, for example. But it's just a little bit of a cool off for the market, I think, which is definitely not bad to see. The hourly lot of is red on the daily. On the daily, we've pump as a large cap, which is outperforming quite heavily today. World Liberty Finance, Saros, Maker, and a few other ones. But a lot is also seeing somewhat of a move lower. On the weekly, still a lot of altcoins are performing quite well. So I think that's still looking amazing. To be fair, on the weekly here, a lot of altcoins are still performing quite well. Why is the market not pumping? Yeah, it's a weekend. It's just a little bit of a cool down in the weekend, in my personal opinion. Not, yeah. But we have to see me gaps above us, or just at about the levels where we are currently trading at. So we should be fine. We should be fine. I thought I did do some TA on Ondo, but now I'm not so sure yet, because Ondo saw somewhat of a rejection, and I still have my Ondo trading position open, which is now in a loss. But like discussed in the stream yesterday and also in the videos, I'm not worried about this, because I have a very low leverage trade. So Ondo does have to come down by a lot for me to get liquidated, so I don't think that's going to happen. I do think that's still looking quite good. Still my XRP trade open and my Ethereum trade open. And now we can look for more opportunities, basically. Altcoin season index at 78 now. So yeah, altcoins are definitely getting a lot of momentum. But for Ondo, I was looking at this chart today, and we did see another rejection at this important, basically, resistance zone. But yeah, the more times you're going to be knocking on the door, the higher the likelihood is that you're going to break it eventually. So yeah, I do think Ondo is actually looking quite good still. Maybe we could be coming back to this support line, this uptrend. I don't think so, but it could be a scenario. But this is going to be the most important resistance level for Ondo, and the support level. They also have weekend. Yeah, the market also has weekend. Altcoins are also having some weekend, I think. Double like. Okay, perfect. Even better than a single like, the double like. Amazing. Guys, also drop your altcoins in the chat like we did yesterday, for example, too. Bro, can you send me a gift, please? I'm a 15-year-old young trader. No, and I don't think asking for gifts in the chat is something you should do. Do you think ETH will dump to 3.5k today? No, I don't think so. Do you think so? 3.5k is quite a low target for today only. I don't think we will see those levels anymore, but I still have my Ethereum limit trades open. Let me check open orders. I have some Ethereum limit orders open still, but I don't think 3.5k is going to be likely, to be fair. But maybe. I don't know if you're shorting the market, but Solana is my biggest bag. Yeah, it's a nice bag actually. Solana has been outperforming over the last few days. It has been performing very strongly. I will also add Solana to my watch list. I think it's a nice one to just track over the following days also. But I do think somewhat of smaller caps, there we could have more potential left than with Solana. But for your spot, Solana is definitely quite a nice position. Basically for this entire bull market it was and still is. Yeah, look at it. Quite insane actually. Look at the daily. But yeah, the strength of Solana is definitely getting me interested in potentially screening some altcoins in the Solana ecosystem. I saw an interesting chart about Solana. Let's see. Yeah, Solana is closing in on the all-time high. Basically, the all-time high of January at the beginning of the year. Before we saw the Trump dump, basically. So quite amazing how Solana has been performing. Yeah, and I could see something like this for Solana. Keeping the uptrend is going to be important, but I do think Solana is going to break new all-time highs quite soon if the market is going to stay like this now. And that's also going to be one of your first examples that, let me check if I still have the chart. Yeah, here. That we are basically exactly following the steps of altcoin season. With phase 2 Ethereum. Ethereum is taking a little bit of a break maybe. But then if you take a look in towards how Solana is performing now after Ethereum, it could be quite a big sign that we are slowly transitioning. That we are slowly transitioning from Ethereum to large caps, so phase 2 to phase 3 here. So that's quite interesting also. 4.5k is my stop loss. Oh, okay. Do you think ETH will dump to 4.5k? It's definitely possible. 4.5k is not that far away. Will ETH reach 5.3k in this week? So today. But or do you mean next week? Next week, yeah, but it's possible. Of course, we are going to see the FOMC meeting. Let's also talk a bit about that, because of course we are streaming some about some altcoins, but probably very important for those altcoins and the performance of them next week is going to be the FOMC meeting, with the rate cut probabilities now still hinting on a 25 BPS rate cut. And yeah, let's see how the market is going to react on exactly that, but it's going to be huge. Near, what do you think of Near? Let me check. Can I do TA on Aptos? Yes, I will be doing that after Near. Oh, this is the not Near we want. Near Binance. Interesting. You can directly see somewhat of a symmetrical triangle being formed on Near. Look at it. Boom. Definitely quite a nice compression pattern here. Depends a little bit on how you're going to draw it, but and you basically have like a weekly candle left or something before you do want to see the breakout. So this is actually quite an interesting one near, I think. Let me check. No, I think this is going to be an important pattern. You can clearly see the compression of the price here, creating somewhat of an symmetrical triangle. But here on the lower side, you're missing some TA maybe, of some PA. But quite interesting near. I will add it to my watch list also, and we can hold our eyes on this in the next few days. Let me check. Perfect. Solana still. I will clean the Solana chart up so we can do some better TA later. But near, yeah, quite interesting. But for most of these patterns, and I've seen this with a lot of altcoins also this morning when I was doing my daily TA. A lot of these altcoins have not confirmed the breakout yet. Today we have the weekly close. So I do think for truly bullish setups, you do want to see the weekly close today confirming above, for example, for near this symmetrical triangle. Of course, there's not a lot of time left, but if that's going to be the case, that's going to be super bullish also, I think. And I do like to do most of my TA on like the weeklies, and sometimes also on the daily. But yeah, the daily is going to look the same eventually. Yeah, just no breakout confirmed yet, and a little bit of rejection also now, just like we saw before. No, a lot of comments actually. Can you TA Aptos? Yeah, let's move to Aptos. We talked about Aptos yesterday also. The interesting thing with Aptos, and let's make somewhat of a better chart of this one, because I do think this is going to be a big opportunity, Aptos actually. I was talking with someone about Aptos yesterday actually, and he told me that, and let me check it, October, September, okay. So let's check the Aptos performance in September first. Then you hear. Now August, September, it's about to be this period, something like that. And here now also in September, what you can see with the Aptos chart is that like for the last 3 years, it has been bottoming out in September. Let's draw some lines, or not also in October here, but basically the ending stage of September almost. In September, somewhat like that, and now in September too. And then you do see the performance in Q4 for Aptos, and I do find that quite interesting actually. So this definitely chart I'm keeping my eyes on, and I will probably be opening a trade on quite soon. So yeah, I will be updating you guys all the way. But yeah, look at it in Q4. We tend to, or sorry, my mistake. Q3 ending. I will just draw it like this. Q3 ending. Q3 ending. It's interesting because it does always seem to bottom at about the ending stage of Q3 here, and then we see big pushes in like Q4. So yeah, this is going to be an interesting chart to keep our eyes on in like the next few days, because of course we have about 16 days left in Q3 before Q4 is going to start. So Aptos is probably going to be a big opportunity. And let's also quickly look at the daily. Yeah, at the daily I could not find a lot. It is looking like quite a nice accumulation range here, or reaccumulation range. It's looking nice, but I do think I like the bigger perspective more for Aptos here, if that does make sense. I bought for 4,760. Now I wait for 5.3k next week. Okay, I hope we will move there. Will the FOMC meeting for sure make the market go up, or will it go into pullback and then go to the top side? Definitely not for sure. We never know if the market for sure is going to move up. But first of all, let me add this chart to the watch list. So it's OKX, Aptos, this one. Perfect. First of all, you never know for sure, but let me show you something about the FOMC meetings, basically. Let's take a look at, for example, the total 2 or total 3 market cap. Because there I can show you something interesting. Or it doesn't really matter. You can also look into total 2. Look at it. I have the chart here. After the last FOMC meeting, what we did actually saw or see here was quite some chop after the FOMC meeting. We pumped into it, then we dumped, and then we saw some chop, and then eventually the break higher. So it is not for certain that the market is just going to take off after the FOMC meeting, because this FOMC meeting in 2024, also in September, was quite a similar scenario like we are seeing now. So yeah, to be fair, I first of all expect some chop and then eventually the breakout higher in Q4. I don't expect just like one big push higher. We could see a dump after the FOMC meeting, is definitely possible. Why is Ethereum dumping? Is it really dumping now? Let me check it on the 5-minute chart then. I would not really call this a dump, to be fair. Still see me gap above us, so if you're not over leveraging here, there should not be too much worry about now. Shows the previous data of the FOMC days. What do you mean with the previous data? Like the price action after the FOMC meetings themselves? Because then it's quite simple. You have some nice indicators for that also. Aptos over similar projects like Sui and or Sui. Maybe, if I'm not mistaken, Sui and Sui are larger market cap ones than Aptos. I do like Sui a lot actually, but of course did see quite a big push higher. Let's first of all just look in the charts of those coins. Sui first. I do like Sui a lot. I do think it's a nice project. Eric, nice to see you again. Familiar name. Sui. Let me check it out. Sui. Yeah, it looks quite good as well. Just look at this. It depends a bit on how you're going to draw this. But yeah, definitely doesn't look bad to me, Sui here. But I would choose Aptos over Sui, I think, for my trade, because I do think Aptos has more potential. Because if I'm not mistaken, yeah. Let's also open CoinGecko. If I'm not mistaken, like the Sui market cap is much higher. Sui. Market cap 13 billion. Aptos. Yeah, look at that. 3 billion. So the potential for Aptos is going to be far bigger than Sui. And I think also for let me check what you mentioned another one, Sui and so a lot of comments actually. Sui is for a smaller market cap, I think, and I heard some positive things about Sui also lately. It's also 3 billion, so this is going to be comparable to Aptos actually. So we should be comparing Sui and Aptos, I think, because Sui is just going to be very different. Let's overlay the Sui chart with Aptos maybe. Yeah, okay, this is what I mean. I think, of course, the charts are looking quite similar, but I think that Aptos is lagging behind, and that there's also more potential left for Aptos here, maybe. So for now, I would choose Aptos over Sai, I personally think. Because I think Aptos has more catch-up to do, and I think it will do so. Because I do like the project a lot, actually. So for now, I would choose Aptos over Sai just because of the potential there seems to be left. But I'm not saying that Sai is not going to be a great altcoin also, because it seems like it's breaking out Sai here, or just at this important level. So also watch the weekly close for Sai here probably, because this is also somewhat of an symmetrical triangle here. So watch the weekly close on Sai is also going to be important here. Will Paul Powell new FOMC chair? Yes, he's probably going to cut rates because the chances of a 25 BPS rate cut minimum are 92%, and for 50 BPS 7.5%. Why don't you rest a little bit? Why don't you rest at least a bit? Because I enjoy live streaming actually more than resting. Good morning. Can you please take a look at Moonwell? Moonwell, is that a very low cap one? For the people who are new in this stream, I don't like it to cover too low market cap altcoins because I also want to protect my audience. This is almost, is it 100? Almost 100 million market cap. But I don't know it. Maybe you can tell a little bit more about it in the chat also. Is it like a great project also based on fundamentals, or? I don't know all of these altcoins, to be fair. There are so many altcoins. Yeah, the chart is not telling me a lot. Maybe you can give me somewhat of an explanation what kind of project it actually is. 100 million market caps, that's quite decent. Moonwell.fi. Is it a DeFi? Is it a DeFi protocol or something? Oh, lending protocol. DeFi. Yeah, it's DeFi. Okay. Interesting. So what should we do now? Should we sell it if it dumps and then we buy it? Should we sell it? Are you talking about a specific coin here or just about the market in general or something? I don't know. I know what you... me personally, always with these kinds of questions, it's of course hard for me to go to exactly tell you where to buy and sell. I should also not be doing so, but what I do think is that your time in the market is going to be far more important than now trying to exactly time the market. So if you are in a very over leveraged trading position, get your leverage down a little bit. Just make sure that you will stay long enough in the market to maybe even survive a last shakeout or a last dump before we are eventually going to move higher, because I do think we will do so in Q4, and then it's going to be important that you're still in the market and not liquidated because you took too much risk to get there. So that will be my answer to that question. Crypto J, is my name familiar? Definitely, I've seen your name a lot, and I know you are a very loyal supporter, so I appreciate it a lot. What do you think about AVAX? Let's dive into the chart. AVAX. I did talk about AVAX yesterday also. Yeah, I might have somewhat of an unpopular opinion about AVAX and coins like these. I do think, like I also explained in the video yesterday, not all altcoins will hit their 2021 all-time high. And I do think AVAX could be one which is not going to do so, because there are so many altcoins. I do probably think that only more of the newer altcoins, like we have been seeing with Ondo, Ethereum, Hyperliquid, a few of those altcoins will outperform, but not everything like AVAX. I do think AVAX is maybe a bit dead, to be fair. So that's what I think of AVAX. Do you think Solana memes will come back? I'm holding Michi, if you know it. I know Michi. I did not even know that it was still like active. Michi has been around for quite a while, I think. Michi. Um, 40 million market cap. But your question is, do you think Solana memes will come back? Yeah, I think that's possible. Solana has been performing very nice lately. I do think Solana meme coins will bounce back, but I do also think that the last phase of the cycle is going to be more utility focused and not that much focused on meme coins. Arrow is also a good option. Yeah, I saw this actually in yesterday's stream that Arrow is also making some nice revenue. So also for the new people watching, I will show you guys a dashboard. It's called Cash Cows on June. Cash Cows. Oh, I can't even type normally. Cash Cows. And I think Arrow is like one of the protocols that is making the most revenue with 50 million in the last 30 days. So quite interesting. Let me look into the chart. Mr. Crypto in the chat. Hello. How are you doing, my friend? Mr. Crypto. Let's look in this chart. Oh, it's basically only up. But okay. I think we should look at the daily. Not a lot for me, I think, to tell you about this one. Rejection here. But yeah, maybe we should even look at the 4-hourly, this one. Because I don't see a lot on the chart here, to be fair. The 4-hourly, it's in an uptrend here now. And it seems like it's testing what's somewhat of support here. Yeah, I can't tell you a lot about this chart. I should do a little bit of more research about this one, probably. AVAX ETH pair shows a different story, more potential. Oh, that's interesting. Let me look into it. AVAX ETH. Yeah, maybe to see something happening like we saw in 2024 here, compared with Ethereum, you mean? There could be something. But yeah, I don't know if this will outperform in the last phase of the cycle, because I don't think everything will do so. But yeah, if you just look potential wise, of course there's a lot of potential left to outperform Ethereum if the project is going to catch some momentum. But yeah, I don't know if it will be doing so. Is this please analyze ETH 5 minutes time frame. The 5 minute chart. I don't know if I can say a lot of very interesting stuff about the 5 minute time frame, but of course we can dive into it. I think maybe you should get your leverage down a little bit. Yeah, I can't really say much about the 5 minute time frame, to be fair. What do you think of the base chain? Do you think it's a good narrative? And do you know any good coins on this chain to buy here? I definitely think it's a good narrative. I think also, I don't know if this is also the case today, but I've seen over the last weeks a lot of stablecoin supply and also just a lot of inflow into the base chain, which is interesting. Oh, a lot of outflows actually over the 3 months. I thought I saw a lot of inflows actually. Maybe it was on the bridge. Let me check it. But I don't know any specific coins on base chain. To be fair, I know you like base chain a lot, but I don't have very specific coins on the chain itself. Let me check. And also we should probably look into grow the Pi, because I do think it's one of the best performing Ethereum layer 2s. Ecosystem. Base chain. It seems, yeah, I don't know. I must say it's coming down a lot now, with also active addresses, but I can remember that the base chain and Arbitrum were were the most active layer 2s actually for my Ethereum, and also Linnea is now catching up. Maybe that's also an interesting one to look into. Let's also look into the chart. Or no, Basecamp doesn't have a token. It's only a that's true. I guess Zora is based on the base chain, right? Zora. I can remember from Mr. Crypto's X that Zora actually performed quite well lately. But now it's coming down by a lot. Maybe Zora could be a nice buy, don't you think so? Maybe finding some support here also. Interesting. I will add this one to the watch list also, Zora on the base chain. Because I do know it has been performing or it was performing quite heavily. Oh yeah, Aero, Zora, Toshi, and a new launch today, Avantis. On CoinGecko, you have a category about the base coins. Okay, let's look into that also. I think it should be here, or can I filter on blockchain or something? I don't know exactly how I can filter here. Zora is nice, but I think their project's being dominated by the new pump streaming creator rewards. Yeah. Brett, yeah, of course. Brett, by the way, we discussed Brett earlier in the stream also. And we also did discuss this together yesterday with Toshi. That Brett is actually looking quite nice, but we did see a rejection for Brett. And I like it more on the weekly here. So yeah, I would love to see the weekly candle confirming above here to see the breakout. That would be amazing for Brett, for example. And talking about Toshi, that was also a great looking chart. Yeah. Toshi might even look better than Brett. A lot more history also here. So Brett, Toshi, quite nice. I will look into that CoinGecko category later also. Last time Bitcoin pumped and made the last all-time high, big memes like Bonk, Pepe, Floki pumped very early. It seems like the same could be happening. What do you think? When we made the last all-time high, now what I did saw yesterday is that a lot of these meme coins were performing quite well on the 24 hourly, like Pepe, and also Dodge was performing quite well, I think. But yeah, now of course today everything is coming down a little bit once again. But yeah, I did saw this happening yesterday, and I can remember indeed that the last time we saw like a big and nice push for altcoins, that at the beginning those meme coins started performing quite well. Then eventually more and more were starting to outperform. Inch, Avex, Link, ADA, Sui, Near, Arrow, Ondo. What do you think of this altcoin portfolio? I think we covered a lot of those ones actually. I think it's a quite nice portfolio. Only about Inch, I don't know too much. I could check the chart out. I think most of these altcoins we also did cover in today's live stream or yesterday one. So you could also check that out. Inch on the daily. Let me also get back to the logarithmic. Yeah, Inch is looking like a lot of altcoins. Yeah, interesting. I think this could be an interesting pattern to keep our eyes on. It's a nice uptrend definitely, with some higher lows, and now bouncing back up. And I think this is going to be an important level to keep your eyes on, also for the weekly close today. But yeah, the rest of your portfolio you talked about actually looks quite nice, and we did discuss a lot of those altcoins. So yeah, quite nice. But still, we are not near July highs. Why is that? Will we reach those highs again? It depends on, I think you're talking about the altcoin market cap? Or are you talking about a specific altcoin? Because I think for the altcoins market cap, for example, it does make a lot of sense that we are not close to the previous high. So actually, if you take a look at the total tree chart, it is, but others maybe isn't. Event crypto explode. Event. Oh, is this like a new launch or something? It launched this week basically. Event. Let me check it out. CoinGecko. I guess it's a new launch. Event. Oh, this is the one Mr. Crypto was talking about. Avantis. Interesting. What does it do? It's now available on Coinbase.com. The Coinbase app. It's an experimental asset. Event tokens. I don't really see an explanation somewhere. I would love to know more about this project, to be fair. Wait, I will also get a ChatGPT page open so we can research some altcoins too. Let me check it out. Oh yeah. Event. Global market, limited leverage. Trade crypto, forex, metals, commodities. Is this just like the tokenization? Tokenization of a lot of different assets like forex, metals, commodities in the... Interesting. Across all global assets and markets, forex, crypto, equities, metals and more by funding development, enabling governance. We believe in the future of finance will be decided. So, if I'm not wrong, it's a platform for tokenization, right? And then this is the native token of the platform. Staking, governance, incentives, okay. Oh, and there's also an airdrop ongoing. Interesting. And here I can... This is only crypto for now, so this is okay. And they were also talking about commodities and other stuff. Borrow, bridge, leaderboard, earn, portfolio. Equities are now live on Avantis with coin up to 25x. So you can... That's interesting. Oh, now it's also closed. Yeah, it's looking very interesting actually. Nice platform. I've not really seen something like this before, I think. Very interesting. So I get why the token price is pumping so hard. It's also, I think, on the weekly. No, I can't see it here, but that's weird. When should we start booking profits? I'm up 40-50% of most of my holdings and want to book some profits in the coming months. I think this is going to be different for everybody. First of all, where you're going to take some profits. Yeah, for me personally, I do think in Q4 I will be taking most of my profits eventually. Just like on my Ethereum position, also my spot position, like we discussed a lot on the channel also. I can get the chart on my X. And this is what I've done with taking profits. Basically, I just draw this chart out like a long time ago, and at that conservative case, I did sell a lot of my spot holdings, and now I'm moving towards that bull case, also with my Ethereum trade open, of course, and that's going to be my target, and I will be cashing out a little bit more. For example, at this 1.6.8 Fibonacci level, or my targets might differ a little bit eventually. But it's going to be different for everybody. If you haven't taken any profits yet, I don't know if that's the case, but then it's going to be wise to definitely take some profits, maybe break even yourself, or I think that's going to be wise eventually. It also depends on the amount of money you're basically playing with and investing with. And if it's going to be very big amount, I will definitely be taking some profits. If you are in the market with a lower amount, you maybe need that Q4 push to truly make something, to truly make an amount of money you can do something with. Tom Lee said Ethereum might go to 10k. Eric Trump says 8k very soon, but Crypto Rover says 6.5k. That's where he puts his limit. What do you think? I first of all think that the predictions of Eric Trump and also Tom Lee should not be your realistic outlook for Ethereum. I do think 8k it's possible this cycle. Of course, all these targets are possible on hindsight, but I do think, for example, Rover 6.5k is going to be a more realistic scenario. But you should be setting your own profits and not even be listening to Rover, to Tom Lee or Eric Trump. You should be setting your own targets. And realistically, I don't... Rover's target is going to be the most realistic. Let's just say it like that. Is there any chance for all the chains to retrace parts of their loss? Like DOT and Algo, they have no more token emission. There's a chance they will retrace parts of their loss. They will probably do so. But the only thing I was stating earlier also is that I don't think all of these chains do have to reach their 2021 all-time high or above. I don't think that that's going to be the case. Definitely for something like Polkadot. Always taking profits, yeah, definitely. I meant July highs for meme coins like Pepe, Pengu, and XPX. Ah, okay. Then first of all, I have to look into the chart because I don't know exactly, because I'm more into utility than meme coins, I must say. But let's take Pepe, for example. April. Yeah, here the July highs, you mean. And the question exactly was... let me scroll back a little bit. Do you think we will go back to the same highs as in July? Yeah, definitely. I do think for stuff like Pepe, XPX, I don't know. I don't know that much about it. I do know it's very hyped, but yeah, for Pengu, I do think we are also going to reach the July highs, most definitely. Because I do think these top performing meme coins will actually perform quite well in the ending stage. In the ending stage, I'm still expecting new all-time highs for these coins, also for Pepe. So yeah, definitely July highs I think are going to be reachable. When they say FOMC will give rate cuts 3 times, it is really necessary to do it 3 times, or is there a hidden like major pullbacks to then bring it back or something? I don't know what you mean exactly with this question. When they say FOMC will... Yeah, but it's like the expectation of the market. And that is currently the expert. But for stuff like this also, and I posted about this on X today. Actually, next week FOMC is going to be even more important because we have the dot plot dropping, and that is going to be some important stuff to see what the Federal Reserve is thinking for like the next few months, definitely. Here, I did tweet something about this today. Let me check it out. First of all, it's going to be a very, very important week, of course, but we do know that by now. But we are not only going to see a rate cut, but also economic projections and the Fed dot plot. And that's basically the Fed's outlook on how many rate cuts the certain officials from the Fed expect for this year. And I think also far further in the future. But we can check that at the economic calendar also. Let's take a look into another one. This one. Here, interest rate projection for first year, second year, third year, current, longer. So a lot of important stuff is coming out on the Fed dot plot. So yeah, that's probably going to answer your question also. And guys, by the way, I have not been talking about this in stream, but if you do enjoy streams like this and basically do enjoy people around you which you can discuss altcoins with, or you are just looking for a group where you can find some traders in which are sharing daily altcoin setups, make sure to join our VIP Telegram channel. You can find the link in the description on this live stream. I will just quickly show it because here we have been trading a lot. You can find it here. Oh, this is the wrong live stream. Let me get today's one. Here. You can find the link here in the description on this update video. You can join the group, and there I am, but also Crypto Rover and 5 professional alt traders are constantly sharing altcoin setups, alpha, just talking with the community about how we think about the market. And it's going to be even more real time than for example, this live stream. So make sure you check it out. Also, if you need an exchange to be trading on, you can check out L-Bank if you don't have an exchange yet, where you do want to get start trading on. But yeah, make sure you check it out. Do you have any open trades or some profits? I do still have my Ethereum trade open here, which is now in 1.2k profit. XRP, which is an amazing $27 profit. And Ondo, which is now in a loss. Will join this. Amazing, brother. You can find the link in the description like I showed earlier. Can you check Polygon? Of course I can check it out. Love how Mr. Crypto is constantly researching and taking opinions of others. Yes, definitely. Very smart guy. Polygon. I think it's also, for me, a bit of the story like we have been discussing about, for example, Polkadot. I think Polygon is something similar, and I also saw a lot of negative news coming out about the team, and a lot of people leaving, I guess. A lot of people leaving, which basically did make the project big. But I don't know, and we can look into it, if, for example, I think Polymarket is still on Polygon, right? Is Polymarket still driven by Polygon? Yeah, the thing is, Polygon is still, I think, the main driver of Polymarket, and I do think Polymarket is definitely has a lot of potential. I do think these like betting platforms, or I don't even want to call it a betting platform, but of course it is. But I do think stuff like this will grow a lot bigger. Actually, if you also be looking into the new partnerships from Polygon, for example, I do think stuff like that will get far bigger in the future, because it's also we saw it, for example, with the elections in 2024. It's by far one of the most trustworthy indicators for a lot of stuff, because people are betting on certain events with real money, and that does make it most of the times a lot more trustworthy than, for example, the polls we saw in the USA. Yeah, Polymarket still, I don't know why it's not working for me now, but yeah, I do believe in Polymarket, so that's also why I do think Polygon itself is still interesting. But I have seen a lot of negative news coming out about the team. Yes, I'm logged in, Omar, even during the weekends. Yeah, always logged in. Hello from Southeast Asia. Hello. Nice to have you here. I heard that Polygon is trying to push for an IPO, and that's actually very interesting. It doesn't work. Oh, okay. Actually, in Polygon IPO could be very interesting. I would love to invest in the Polymarket IPO. Polymarket, I meant. Does it work in Dubai? Yeah, now I get it. But yeah, I do like Polymarket itself a lot as a platform. Let me also scroll back a little bit in the comments, because maybe I've missed some stuff. Let me check. Another live, my man is grinding. No, it's just because I enjoy it also, so it doesn't really feel like grinding. Yeah, I don't see a lot of stuff I missed, actually. Perfect. Hello from Jamaica. Nice to have you here. A lot of different countries. Polygon founder just took a CEO. They are making big key points on the path to payments. There's no competitor for their egg layer. Polygon will go over $1 soon. Okay. So the founder is now the CEO. Okay, I did not know that. But in a lot of examples, that's the case, right? I should be looking into this in a little bit more depth, I think, to really understand what's going on with the team also. Have you covered Hyperliquid yet? No, we haven't done so. Yeah, maybe just quickly in this dashboard we did. the cash cow dashboard I was telling you guys about. Oh. And there's also your biggest reason I think that Hyperliquid is outperforming by so much. Just look at the revenue they are, for example, making of fees and the buybacks they are doing with a revenue, which is of course massively bullish for the price. But let's also dive into the chart. I will also add Polygon to my watch list. I think it's interesting. I will do some more research into it because it's still it's very undervalued maybe. Polygon. Let's take a look into Hype. The founder was just on the board before. Okay, I've seen a lot of team members on X saying how happy they are and how they love the development there. Okay, that's interesting. Very interesting. Thanks for your explanation also. That's quite helpful because of course I can't know everything about all of these altcoins because there are so many. Hyperliquid, yeah, it's basically only up this chart. But yeah, Hyperliquid is just driven by the fundamentals. It's just great fundamentals, great product market fit. People seem to have been looking for a DEX like this, so yeah. A lot of marketing also, basically free marketing from all those big whales who are trading here. Yeah, I don't know if I can. Let's look at the 4 hourly. No, I don't know if I can say something much very useful about Hype. I think I would just love to talk about the fundamentals, which I did earlier in the video, in the live stream I mean. So a lot of revenue, a lot of buybacks. I think that's pushing the Hyperliquid price higher. And now of course the product market fit. Polygon is my primary back brother. I'm heavily vested, full disclosure. You're shilling Polygon quite hard here actually. Polygon your biggest bag, okay, that's nice. Yeah, if everything you're saying is true, then you could be making some nice money on Polygon, I guess. Last point, it's one of the top 10 US coins in the US to use for RWA and data storage on the blockchain. There are 10 tokens they announced and 2 oracles, Link and Pyth. Yeah, I've seen this. This is true. But do you think it will be so positive for the ecosystem? Do you think that this is really going to be like something driving the price up? I'm trying to connect the dots. Let's also Hyperliquid chart. Yeah. It does make me think a little bit of the BNB chart, which is also only up. That's what happens when you have a project with so great fundamentals, basically. The biggest competitor of Hype, BNB, basically. It's going to be interesting over the next years what the standpoint of Binance and BNB is going to be against stuff like Hyperliquid. Because I do think Hyperliquid is going to take a lot of market share from centralized exchanges like Binance. And also something very interesting about Hyperliquid, that's why I love the fundamentals much more, is, let me see if I can find the chart, Hyperliquid employees. Yeah, revenue per employee. Hyperliquid is insane, the highest ever. Even more than Tether, OnlyFans, Nvidia, Cursor, Apple, Meta. It's insane. But it's also because they simply don't have a lot of employees, of course. For example, Meta, Apple also have much more employees, but yeah, it's still quite an shocking chart actually. And you can also see that this is only possible in crypto, with Tether also at the second place. Yeah, guys, let's keep dropping some altcoins in the comments. Also get a quick sip of water. Opt. Yeah, we did discuss Opt earlier. I will get the same chart back because we did put it in the watch list. Like for other new people joining, we are basically creating somewhat of a watch list together, so we can keep monitoring some charts we find interesting with each other over the next few days, weeks. This is what I find interesting with Opt. Alpha shared by TraderPA actually yesterday, so don't forget to give him a follow also, TraderPA. But he showed me that Opt always performs quite well in Q4 and tends to bottom out in that ending stage of Q3. Here a little bit earlier, but it's quite close. And now in Q3 also, we seem to be finding a bottom. And if history is going to repeat for Aptos, then we could be expecting a very bullish Q4. And I do think this Q4 is going to be much more bullish than 2024 and 2023. So Aptos I do find very interesting, and I will keep my eyes on this chart over the next few weeks, or the next days basically, because Q4 is getting quite close now. Next, Link entry. Let's take a look into Link. Also, by the way, an interesting one to add to the watch list. Link. Because we did talk about Link yesterday. Let me clean up the chart a little bit. Look, like Link basically did has the breakout of one of the most perfect falling wedges I've seen in a long time. And basically you do want to see Link moving towards the top side of the falling wedge. I think that's going to be your first Link target. And now we are seeing just a little bit of a cool down. So I think a few possibilities. Maybe Link is going to come down. You could see a retest of the falling wedge maybe, and then eventually moving higher. I do think that's quite a large move, so I would not be expecting that, to be fair. I'm expecting just a continuation for Link eventually, and then this is going to be an important resistance level. And maybe once you're going to break above it, retest it, or just confirm the breakout above it, that could be your next entry for Link. Or you're just going to enter now with the fact in mind that we have been confirming the breakout above this falling wedge. We can also look at the weekly. I don't know how it's looking there. Yeah, there's a high likelihood that the falling wedge on Link on the weekly is also going to confirm. But yeah, on the weekly it does look a little bit weird. On the daily it does look a lot better. So yeah, you could also be entering this breakout basically with the intention that we are going to hit the high of the falling wedge, which is ultimately going to be your target. What cold wallet do you use? I use Ledger myself. What's a great entry for Solana? Let me get the chart. Great entry for Solana. I do find it a little bit hard with Solana because it has been pumping so hard. But also, I think you mean entry on a leverage trade, because on spot it's always going to be a great buy maybe. Simply because I do see this moving much higher. But of course we have seen quite a large pump here over the last few days. So Maybe with Solana I would be waiting for somewhat of a pullback. But yeah, you could of course also be too late with that. But maybe I would be waiting for somewhat of a pullback, and then let's see if we can find some interesting levels of interest. It seems like here is laying somewhat. Look. And by the way, I think this is somewhat of an interesting box. A lot of price action here. And I also saw an interesting, I think it was a tweet from Mr. Crypto, which was also in the chat just some moments ago. I know he has like a very big Solana position open. So also if you're interested in Solana, I should be checking out his private group too. But he's now, for example, also slowly starting to take some profits, because for Solana, he did enter quite a long time ago, and this was also something I was trying to say, that Solana did already see quite a large move. So I don't know if this is still going to be something you do want to be opening a big trading position on. Maybe you should be looking into then some tokens in the ecosystem itself, which are maybe still lagging behind a little bit. Just to give you somewhat of a perspective of what traders I personally know are doing now also. Because I don't have a Solana trade open now, but I must say this seems like an interesting level for Solana, with a lot of price action in the past here, a lot of resistance and both support. So interesting. Maybe Solana could be coming back to this level. It could still be a nice long, I don't know, but I would be waiting for a pullback on Solana personally. How far do you think we will be dumping today? Yeah, I don't know. In my opinion, we have not been dumping that much today. I think it's just a very small pullback, and we still have the CME gap above us, so I'm not very worried about it, to be fair. Yeah, I don't think we have seen such a large dump, so yeah, I would not even call this dumping lower, but yeah, maybe you could dive a little bit lower, I don't know. It's just a weekend, so it's going to be choppy price action, but eventually we're going to be heading back to the CME gap, like also happened a few days ago once again, where we did fill up the Bitcoin CME gap at 117k. Also, nobody was expecting that. Okay, thanks. No problem. No problem. No problem. Also, if you guys do have some assumptions about how we could improve the streams more, just let me know in the comments also. Or maybe some ideas. Also interesting chart. Oh, here we can also see the seasonality of all the different type of altcoins. It's also an interesting feature from a trading view, where you can see the seasonality of like the last few years. It's interesting. Do you think there will be a morning dump tomorrow? I don't know. Have we been dumping on like the last few Monday mornings? I don't know actually. Let me take a look into the charts. 30 minutes. Have we been dumping last Monday morning? I can't really find it. Sunday. Here maybe you were talking about. There we did saw quite a large push higher. I don't know, it doesn't have to be the case. I have the liquidation prices far away, but you know. Oh, how far do you think we will? Oh, that was your. Yeah, it's quite hard to predict exactly how far we could be dumping today. Like, to be fair, the weekend price action is always very hard to predict, in my opinion. Through the weekdays, it's going to be easier. But yeah, maybe we can look into. I saw an interesting chart about the daily performance on Velo. Let me check it out. The weekly before year, the return by day over like the last few months. And then indeed, and that was maybe why someone was talking about this, that Monday is going to be negative day. And then eventually over the next few days we see an increase, more positive returns. And then on Saturday and Sunday we've actually seen negative returns. It seems like. So interesting. But this is like over the last month. Let's take a look into 6 months. And then it gives you a totally different perspective. Let's look over the year. Also a very different perspective. So it doesn't have to be the case, but the short-term trend seems to be that we dump a little bit on Monday and Tuesday, actually. I'm starting to take out $600, so definitely not too late to enter even now. Oh, on Solana, you mean? Yeah, it depends. It depends on your position. But you should compare it with are there other opportunities in the ecosystem where I could be making a big return than on Solana itself, for example. That was what I was talking about. But I don't think you're too late with Solana, no. But just based on the current price action, if you do want to open a leveraged trade, I'm just saying, I'm seeing people taking profits also. Hi, can you do the TA of Jasmy? Of course I can, of course. Jasmy, I've heard about this project a few times, I think. Jasmy. Let me check it out. Jasmy. Also, first I think that's a better approach. Also, let me check with you guys what the project actually is and what it does do. Jasmy coin. A native token, Japan-based project allows users to control the use of their personal data and get paid for sharing the data. Okay, so somewhat of a privacy protocol. Interesting. Let's go back to the chart then. Actually quite nice. Looks quite nice. Very strong. I think this was the push at the beginning of the year. It's newer 2022. Okay, interesting. Yeah, it looks quite nice. I can directly see it. Boom. Interesting. It is at support of this uptrend, I think, but this is a nice reaction you can see here on the weekly. Let's look on the daily. Yeah, quite nice. Does look interesting. And of course, it's going to be obvious where you do want to see the breakout. I do think you guys do know by now. We are seeing these triangles a lot on a lot of coins. A lot of altcoins are coiling up, which is also quite logical because we are starting to get into the altcoin season territory. But I also wanted to discuss this actually in today's video before I dive into more charts, because I do think it's very important to also see this perspective. Because a lot of people are now, of course, talking about this altcoin season, and it is on the daily perspective here. But if you zoom out a little bit, guys, and please don't forget this, is on the yearly perspective, for example, we are not even close to an altcoin season yet. So there is still a lot of potential left for a lot of altcoins. Remember that. Toshi, we did discuss Toshi earlier. It's looking very nice, the Toshi chart. Toshi. Oh. Toshi. And then I love the Toshi chart on the weekly even more. And then this one. Very nice uptrend. Also an amazing reaction. Yeah, it's looking very nice. And for Toshi, I would be looking into a breakout here. And then I do think, we could see an amazing push higher. Can I do TA on Near protocol? Yeah, we did do so earlier. Let's. I will save Toshi to the watch list also because I think it's an interesting play in the on the base chain, like Mr. Crypto was also stating, which is an interesting chain. Oh, my trading view is lagging a little bit. One sec. I will just open a new page. We did discuss Near protocol earlier also. Also, I'm just quickly checking some news on X before we dive into the charts. Oh, Sailor is about to buy more Bitcoin. Let me post that quickly on Twitter also, guys. Let me post that quickly before we dive back into the chart. So Sailor is going to buy more Bitcoin tomorrow. Getting back to the comments ASAP. Boom, boom, boom. But it's big news. But we have been, Sailor has been buying for like the last few weeks. So I'm not surprised. Michael, Sailor will buy more Bitcoin tomorrow. Boom. Why are alts so down today? Bitcoin is stable. I don't think altcoins are so much down. But I think it's just a little bit of a healthy cool off. Altseason hits its 84. Do you think it will stay? It doesn't have to, because like I showed earlier, it depends on the perspective you're looking into the chart. Because on the yearly we are not even close to an altcoin season yet. So on the daily you could easily see a little bit of a drawback. Yeah. Okay, do TA on. Yeah, we were with talking about Near protocol actually. Near. Weekly. Yeah, we were talking about this for Near protocol, another rejection for Near, but this is going to be my level of interest. Breaking through this important resistance line. Doc Runes. Can you analyze full chart? It launched last year. Would love to hear about price action of Doc holding. Yeah, actually I've seen this a lot on Twitter also. But yeah, I don't know if I can easily find it on TradingView actually. These are also the last charts I will be looking at today because I'm getting a little bit tired, to be fair. So I will be ending the stream quite soon. If you do have some last altcoins you do want to see some TA or info about, let me know in the comments. I think this is the correct dog, right? If I'm not mistaken. I don't know too much about this project, but it's basically a... It seems like it's going to be something like this for Doc, I think. This is how it went the last 3 times, so something like this could be happening again, maybe. For Doc, waiting for the breakout. And this is April, September. But it's a meme coin, right? So it's very hard for me to do some TA on it also. How much do you think Near will hit this bull run? I think near is, of course, you do have the 2024 highs. I think that's going to be a first important level. I do think near has also does have a lot of interest, so I could see potentially near hitting the 2020 all-time high. I could see it happening, but we have a long way to go. So first of all, you're looking into the 2024 highs. That would always be a major level for me to take a lot of profits on near, because you can also see how big the supply zone is there with those wicks. Also here, previous price action. This one also gets quite close, this zone. So this is a massive supply zone for near. You can easily see that with all of those wicks. So a lot of people are getting interested here into selling their near holdings, and you should be doing the same, I think. But yeah, if you could clear that level for near, this level is going to get quite interesting, I think. What do you think about Kronos? Let's take a look into the chart. I do think Kronos, the price action is mostly news driven because of the strategic reserve from Trump, from the Trump media company. That's also why you saw this big pump. And what you did see for Crow is a big rejection. So I do find it quite hard to do TA on this chart because it's so news driven. But let me take a look into 4 hourly. Yeah, it's very hard for me. For near, I would love to see a few more weeks of price action, or for Kronos, I'm so sorry. A few more weeks of price action because it has been so news driven. On the other hand, like maybe holding this on spot or something, because it is the treasury strategy from the Trump media company is going to come true. So maybe it would be quite nice to be holding some of this on spot, but trade, I don't know. This is like maybe if you could also see somewhat of a pullback even, let's say to, seems like this is also quite a big supply zone, which will turn into resistance once coming back a little bit. So might see a retest and then eventually pushing higher for Kronos. Something like that could happen. I should do a little bit more research about what's happening with Kronos in the news. Near coin inflation is also on point. 2021 all-time high is the same market cap as 2024 high. Okay, that's interesting. What do you think about Kronos? Yeah, I just answered. Bro, what's next for XRP? Of course, I still have my XRP trade open here. Now in a slight little loss, but oh yeah, altcoins and Ethereum are coming down a little bit actually now. But I'm not too worried about it, to be fair. XRP on the daily is of course this major breakout, and I'm still targeting a push higher for XRP, because the last time we saw a breakout like this, we also saw a big push higher, and of course we were targeting basically the high. So this is going to be my first XRP target, $3.6. I think we will be hitting that for XRP. It looks quite good. Just like we did here with the high. And then also, the high was actually an amazing moment to take some profits, because that was exactly the moment where the supply zone basically got created, and then we saw a dump lower. So for XRP, this is going to be my take profit target. Do you think the rate cut we will be going? Do you think until the rate cut we will be going up, and then dump when the rate cut happens? It could be the case, because I showed this chart earlier also. Let's go back to the total 2, and then not the seasonality. Boom. We should just look into what we saw in 2024 in September, because like stated earlier, the 2024 FOMC rate cut was very similar as what we are going to see now. Also in switch, in or a pivot in the Federal Reserve monetary policy. And then we saw indeed somewhat of a pump in the rate cut decision, and then some chop and downside before eventually heading higher. I do think we could be seeing something similar. Maybe pump even more, then dump a little bit, or some choppy price action, and then eventually heading higher. Because another thing, we have already seen the breakout for the total 2 market cap, for example, here. And in 2024, that was not the case. Then the breakout followed after the FOMC meeting. So it's a little bit more of a left. Yeah, it's interesting. So yeah, just a short answer on your question. I do think we could see some chop, maybe a little bit of downside before eventually heading higher. And of course, it's also going to depend on how the dot plot is going to look like, what the Federal Reserve policy is going to be over the next few weeks, months. A lot of uncertainty still. Well, what's your... Okay, guys, I think I've answered most of the questions now. I will be ending today's stream. We have basically a lot of altcoins on the watch list now, and we will be doing this more in the near future, these live streams. I hope you guys enjoyed it also. If you do enjoy it, make sure to drop a comment and a like on the video. Before I'm ending, just make sure if you do want to be, or if you do want to get updated about all my trades in real time, for example, the trades I've opened here, or just basically everything I'm doing in the market, just my opinions about the market, make sure to join the VIP Telegram channel. There you can find my trades, but also the trades from 5 professional other traders and Crypto Rover. Like you can see here, we are trading a lot also on Sunday. So yeah, if you do want the same for yourself, make sure to join the group. Also, Crypto Rover is in here, sharing his daily updates about the market in real time. And here we will be sharing it always a lot faster than we can, for example, do on X and YouTube. We can do it in real time here. When we are taking the trade, when we are seeing something important in the market, we drop it in Telegram immediately. So make sure to check the VIP Telegram channel out. If you're still looking for an exchange to start trading on, make sure to join LBank here. I've just partnered with them. I will be coming up with some nice campaigns for you guys also, because we have some insane bonuses coming for LBank, where you guys can claim some free money basically to start trading altcoins. So yeah, also make sure to join the following streams and watch the next update videos. I also did upload a new update video today. Make sure to check this out also. I do think it's an interesting one because we have a lot of important signals flashing, which I cannot all discuss in this live stream also. For that, you just have to watch the update video. And yeah, from there, guys, I will be ending the stream. Hope you guys enjoyed it for today. And then I will see you guys within the next live stream and the next update video tomorrow. And of course, Wednesday, we have the FOMC live streaming coming. So guys, I will see you there. Have a nice weekend. Have a nice Sunday. And yeah, ciao.